Live with Tao. How to be egoless. Everybody asks this question. How to be egoless? And in response to this question, we are given theories and so many complicated things that one finds as difficult, and ultimately drops the idea to be egoless. It happened, and it happens quite often. Somebody will come and say that I am egoistic, and whenever I hear you or I listen to you, I feel I am wrong. So how to be egoless? This is the question of almost everyone. How to be egoless? What is the solution? You have a certain way of responding to yourself, to your inner wounds and so. So how to be egoless? Simply accept that you are egoistic. And accept the fact that you are so, and when you accept yourself totally, then you will stop struggling. You have a certain way that you are always in disagreement with everyone, and you consider it something bad. Accept it. Do not try to be egoless. You are an egoistic, so feel it and be it. You have not gone to the deepest core of it, what it means to be egoistic. And whenever you tell somebody like this, he feels disappointed, because really everyone is searching for a new way or solution for ego, and it does not happen. So he was searching for something for egolessness, and I told him, be whatever you are. Be whatever you are. Do not try to be something that you are not. Be whatsoever you are, so that desire would be cut and ego could not move. I told him for 3 months, don't come to me or listen to me. Do not fight with ego. Accept it as it is. Accept it as it is, as part of you. It is how you are. This is the way you are. I accept you the way you are. The moment you start accepting yourself the way you are, the process of dissolution, transformation begins. But everybody is trying to fight with oneself what he thinks is wrong in him, or what he considers, what he tries to remove out of him. Do not fight with it. Do not think in terms of the contrary. This is what you are. How to be egoless, because that is the way of the ego. How to be egoless, that is the way of the ego. Accept it. Acceptance is the dissolution. Acceptance is the death of ego. Acceptance is the first step in the process of transformation. Acceptance is the first step in the process of transformation. And acceptance has to be totally sincere. But the man said, but every religion says be egoless, and I want to be egoless. Who is this? who is this who wants to be egoless? Do you know that? I asked the person, who is the person who wants to be egoless? The ways of ego are very subtle. When I was talking to him, I felt he was not listening to me. This is what happens in most of the cases. When I am talking to someone, the person wants to say all that he has to say. He does not want to listen. The moment you develop the art of listening, you are on the path of transformation, on the path of change. Silently and in a mysterious way, you are on the journey of dissolution of ego. So he said, every religion says that in order to be religious, you have to be egoless. And so I want to be egoless. But I asked him, who is this? Who is that who wants to be egoless? The ways of ego are very subtle. And I realized when I was talking to him, an inner dialogue was going on, and I felt that he was not listening to me. I gave him some technique to be egoless. If I had given him some techniques to be egoless, he would ready and be accepting, receptive, because then ego would start working. If you ask for how to be egoless and I tell you to accept it as it is, the ego is working because it is working in a subtle way. But if I give you some techniques and so, then it will surface and start working in a totally different manner. If I gave him some techniques to be egoless, he would have been ready, accepting, receptive, because then ego will start to work. But I was saying, do not talk about egolessness. Just be whatever you are. And for 3 months, do not struggle. Just accept as you are. And after 3 months, come to me. He tried. And after 3 months, he came back and he said, I have tried. It has been hard to accept. But because you told me, I tried. Now give me some technique, give me some key to beyond ego. The whole his effort was false. Because if you have accepted yourself that you are egoistic, you are this, you are that, then there is no desire to go beyond it. The desire to go beyond your lust, somebody says that I want to get rid of sexual desire. Who is the one who has these desires? And someone said that I am listening to your talks every night, but in a different ways, in so many different ways, you are talking about sex. But that is the problem. By my talking to you, I want to accept it as you are. In different ways, I am trying to make you aware that you have to accept it. The moment you have accepted it as you are, then the desire to go beyond the sex, desire to go beyond ego will vanish. It is there because you are fighting with it. You are fighting with your sexual desires. You are fighting with your desire to be egoless. You want to be free from sex. Why do you want to free to be sex? Why do you want to be free with egoless? And who wants to be free? First of all, find out who wants to be egoless, who wants to be free from sex. Acceptance is the first key. You want to be intimate to someone, but you do not accept that you have so many wounds, you have so many repressions, and for that matter, everyone has some repressions. So you open your repressions to the one with whom you want to be intimate. And there is a fear that if I open my weaknesses about ego, about this, about food, about sex, about this, the other will take advantage of it. So you have to take a risk somewhere or the other. And it would be easy to be intimate with someone if you accept yourself, accept all your weaknesses, that this is what you want. And when you do not accept your weaknesses, then you cannot expose it to the other, you cannot explain it to the other, and then what will happen? The intimacy will not be possible. You cannot go beyond sex. You cannot be egoless. Ego will always remain, but in a very subtle manner. Whenever you feel yourself to be ordinary, you will try to be extraordinary. It is most difficult to be ordinary. Everyone wants to be extraordinary in some way or the other. Extraordinary means to be important. You see that there are people in a room, everybody is trying to put their points and wants to be extraordinary. Why do you want to be extraordinary? Number of times people come and they start arguing. So I just keep on listening to them. So you don't have to say anything. It is more important for me to listen to you than because you have come to tell me something, so I'm listening to you. There is nothing that I have to tell you. When you are ready to listen to me, then I can. Otherwise, I am not going to waste my time and energy in saying things for which you have not come here. But everyone is, in the deeper sense, ordinary. And to be ordinary is to be authentic. To be ordinary is to be real. It is to be spontaneous. It is to be natural. It may be that to you someone looks extraordinary because you compare him with yourself. Whenever there is a comparison comes, you feel that this person is extraordinary, he knows so much. Between you and me, I am the most ordinary person. Not that I know it. Ordinary means in terms of value, in terms of quality, to be natural, to be spontaneous, to be open, to be free-flowing is to be ordinary. To be open, to be natural, to be spontaneous. And this is the fragrance of innocence. So you can say anything to anyone. You do not have inhibitions that you should not use or speak on this topic or that topic. I am free to speak on any topic with equal importance because of this ordinariness, because of this spontaneity. It may be that to you, and it is natural, To you, I may be appearing to be extraordinary because you are comparing yourself with me, that this man knows so much. What do I know? What am I telling you? I'm telling you the simple experiences of my life, the way I have lived life. Be spontaneous, be natural, be open to yourself, accept yourself totally as you are. And your fear is, if you do not accept yourself totally, you want other to be open to you, but you do not accept yourself totally, so you cannot expose yourself totally natural, spontaneous, and naked in front of the other. I'm not talking about physical nudity alone, but psychological nudity. But psychological nudity can begin with physical nudity, because physical nudity is easy than the psychological nudity. Between couples, there is physical nudity, but there is no psychological nudity. Both are psychologically at that level very protective. My more emphasis is on psychological openness, opening your wounds, opening your weaknesses, and only a person who has accepted all his weaknesses, all his shortcomings, can be able to open himself or herself to the other, or the blossoming of intimacy. So do not compare. But so to you, someone looks extraordinary because you begin to compare with him, but a genius in himself is an ordinary as anybody, and he feels himself ordinary. A rose flower is ordinary, a lotus flower is ordinary, but if the rose starts comparing itself with the lotus about how to be lotus flower, then the problem arises. In existence, everyone is what it is. A rose flower is a flower, and it does not want to be a lotus flower, and a lotus does not want to be a marigold. But why do you want to be other than what you are? The moment you accept yourself, all the veils that surrounds you, your physical, emotional, and spiritual existence, they begin to disappear. And the moment the veils that block your real presence disappears, you appear in all your ordinary beauty, splendor, and beingness. And a rose flower is ordinary because it does not compare itself. To be ordinary, the only criteria is to accept yourself as you are. Do not compare with the other. A carpenter is ordinary as long as he does not compare himself with another person who is a fabricator. Two are different jobs. A fabricator is ordinary because he does not compare himself with the carpenter. He knows carpentry, he knows the very technique. Carpentry is a different kind of art and blossoming, and so is everything else. So the carpenter is happy as being carpenter, and the fabricator is happy that he is a fabricator. He is enjoying the quality that he has in him, and the carpenter is enjoying the capability that he has in him, and both are in their total acceptance and non-comparability, they are ordinary and they are happy. To be ordinary is to be happy. To be ordinary is to be blissful beyond duality and conflicts within. And if the lotus starts thinking about the beautiful perfume that comes from the rose flower, because lotus just have a splendor and vulnerability, but it does not have a fragrance. Rose has a fragrance. And if lotus starts comparing itself that it does not have the beauty, it does not have the fragrance like a lotus flower, then rose flower will become extraordinary for lotus. Lotus will look down upon itself, and because in comparison you look down upon yourself. We are all born one way. We live our life, we breathe the same common air that everybody does. There is no extraordinary air that you breathe or I breathe. There is no extraordinary. The breath is the most common factor, and this is the ordinary thing. The ordinary oxygen you inhale, the same thing I inhale. So what makes you different? The difference is the quality for which one is made. All electrical appliances are ordinary in their own way because they are made for a specific purpose. A carpenter has trained to be a carpenter. A fabricator has been trained to be a fabricator, just as a fridge is created to be a fridge, not to be an electric stove, not to be an air conditioner. So this is the ordinariness to be what you are to be. The fridge's quality can be improved upon. If you are a carpenter, you can improve upon your carpentry skills and gain excellence into that. But if you start comparing yourself with the fabricator and try to incorporate something that he has, trying to focus on what he is, then you are in a problem. Yes, you can include certain aspects when you are watching a fabricator do the things. So you can include some things, you can see what I can include, what I can learn from him and add to my profession of carpentry. My profession of carpentry. A carpenter deals with the wood. A fabricator deals with iron or the metal. Both have a different texture. Both are processing of the two items is totally different. For fabricator, in order to polish or something, it needs a different equipments. The carpentry needs a different process, but both are beautiful. So if you see there's some things that a fabricator does in creating the designs, and if you research and introspect, you may find something of him you can transport from him and incorporate into your carpentry. That is acceptable. But you have accepted yourself that I am a carpenter and I will remain a carpenter. So, and in that you will gain excellence. But when it comes to ego, the moment you accept your ego, the moment you accept, that means you are ready to expose them. If there is a wound that is constantly oozing and you accept it and you keep it open, then it will dry and the healing process will begin. The healing of the ego begins with total acceptance and being open and vulnerable to yourself and whenever an opportunity comes. Only this much for this morning. Until we meet again along the journey of life, of bliss beyond duality. Take care and do have a pleasant day.